Now at this point, you should be able to create a mission and get the drone and camera to face in a certain direction, and ideally have the drone actually flying via the native app. Now, while flying within Dronelink, the camera buttons on your controller will continue to work. You can start, stop video or images as the drone flies along, and there are also manual settings within the Dronelink UI that you can use to change the settings as well as take images. However, I believe one of the big advantages of Dronelink is allowing you to define default settings based upon how you fly and as you fly along. So, as an example, have you ever watched any of the YouTube videos for optimal settings for video or for images, or perhaps for that awesome hyperlapse that you want to do? Have you ever flown a mission and then realized after you got home with the drone that the last time you flew, you modified your ISO, your white balance, your settings, and now this current mission looks terrible? Or let's say you wanted to do a time-lapse video where you shoot the same mission every week for a month. Or you wanted to ensure that you're taking pictures at the same place every time. You can pass commands to Dronelink to have the video start and stop at the exact place so you're not wasting disk space. I'm going to show you in a path mission how to take images and videos and how to set the settings. I'm going to start with some basic commands. I'm going to add in multiple commands. I'm also going to introduce the issue detector only because it's very, very useful in what we're doing. And I'm going to give you a teaser on repos, although I'm planning on going into that in more detail when I start talking about sharing and other components. So let's look at this very, very basic mission. It's 3 waypoints and an approach, no points of interest, no other markers, no other changes in altitude or speed or anything like that. All we want to do is get the drone to take a picture as it marches along. Let's assume that we've been watching my videos and we know there's a marker. So I can do this. I can create a marker. And I put a marker here, and oh yeah, I got this marker, and we've seen the altitude, speed, point of interest, drone heading, and gimbal component. We've also seen we can add in a component. All right, so let's add in a component, and let's do a command. And I'm going to add in a camera command, and I know that there's a camera start command, and I'm going to start capture. So I do a start capture. All right, so I think I'm good here. This thing looks like, okay, I'm marching along here. It gets to here. It does a camera start capture. It should do my video capture, right? Well, there's a problem. There's a problem with what we've got here. We don't know what camera mode the camera is in. Is it in video? Is it in camera? Is it set to shoot images? Is it set to shoot video? It doesn't know that. For that matter, you might have flown here and been flying video. The camera might already been on and shooting something, and now this command doesn't work. Now, if we can set it up so that the camera was all set up properly before it got here, this would work fine. We've got a camera start capture here, maybe for an image. We could do another marker with another component command, camera command, start capture. And assuming that we did things properly, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a second, that it could do a start capture here, take an image, and do a start capture here and take an image. But we need to make sure the camera is set up properly to do that. Now, the best way to do that is to use the immediate and achieved components. And again, watch the videos in the core components series if you haven't already, but I'm going to take you through like you kind of know what they are. Here is my approach. If I click on my approach, and there's two ways to get to the achieved and immediate components. I'll show you both of them here. One is that you can click this advanced settings button, and there's your set your immediate component, and there's your set achieved component. I'm going to show, I prefer to kind of go this way because it makes a little more sense, but here's your approach. Here's the drill down. If I drill down into the approach, now I've got my immediate component and I've got my achieved component. So let's set my immediate component. As a reminder, the immediate component is what it's going to do when it's on its way from takeoff to the approach. So this is the chance for you to get all your commands all set in here. And the achieved component will run once all the immediate components have been run and it's reached your approach. You know we have to set it to video mode. So I'm going to go to command. I'm going to go to camera command, and then I'm going to do the camera mode, and I'm going to say mode video. So now I've got it set to shoot video at this point, and I think I'm good to go here, right? Because now I've got it set to take off here and it'll be in video mode and it'll march along. So I'm going to introduce something called the issue detector. It's in the upper left-hand corner, and this tool is intended to help you ensure that you're putting the right commands really in the right order so you don't have problems when you get out and fly. This is something there's a lot of logic already built into it, and it's only getting better and smarter as we move along. Right now, we think we're in good shape. We've got it set to video mode. We've got it set to do a start capture here, and we got a start capture here. So we think we're good. But we look over here, in the issue detector, it says it's 3 issues. Now, what are my 3 issues? It says a camera mode is attempted before the camera stop capture. Aha. So what it's basically saying here is, and this is just a warning, this is basically telling you that if you were flying around and you were doing maybe a time lapse of shooting images, and you came over here and you tried to do a start video or try to set it into video mode, it's not going to work. It's going to fail. It's not going to let you switch camera mode if the camera is already in action. So what it's telling you is that it wants you to add a camera stop capture before this command. Second of all, it's telling us that there's a start capture attempted before the camera stop capture. And third, it's telling us that there's a start capture attempted while the camera is already capturing. So that means that because we've got a capture here, why are we doing a start capture here if we're already doing video? What this is basically telling us is we really need to kind of go back to our approach and add in at least a stop capture command. A stop capture command will resolve a lot of these problems. Now, if I go back to my approach and I drill down into my approach, you can see I have one command for the immediate component. Realistically, I need more than one. So the best way to do this is to click on this and delete this, and then set your immediate component to a list, because you really need a list to create more than one command or component. Now, if I click on this, now I am drilled down into the list under the immediate. I'm in immediate under my approach. Now I can add in multiple commands. So now let's say we add in a component. Let's add in a command. Let's first make sure we have stopped the camera. So we're going to do a camera stop capture. Then we're going to do another component. We're going to do a command, and we're going to do a camera command, and we are going to set the camera mode to video. All right. Now what do we got? Still got one issue. What's happened here? So the problem here is this. We've still got the 2 camera commands one after each other, which really doesn't make sense. That's what they tell us. Camera start capture attempted while camera is already capturing. Smart. Telling you that there's already a, it's doing a camera key. Now if I took this guy and I deleted it, boom, no more issues. Everything's good to go now. Now to be clear, I deleted the command. The marker is still there, although there's no commands currently set at that marker. So let's show one more thing that with the issue detector to show a little bit how smart it is. Let's say that we go to approach, and instead of having you do videos, we really wanted to do images here and here. So I'm going to go back to my approach. I'm going to drill down into my immediate component. I am going to drill down again, and instead of camera mode being video, I'm going to set camera mode to photo. Now again, you'd think we're in good shape right now because, well, you know, okay, I did a stop command. I set camera mode to photo, and I've set it to take a picture. I should be able to take a picture here, take a picture here. What's the problem? So if I go up here and I look at my issue detectors, it says camera start capture in photo mode attempted before setting camera photo type. It wants you to make sure that you've set your camera photo type. Now this might not cause the mission to fail, but it's something that it wants you to be careful of. So let's go back one more time to my approach and drill down into my approach, drill down into this list, and let's add in a new component, command, camera command, and let's set the photo type. And we're going to, right now, let's set it to single. We can set it to HDR, but let's set it to single. Done. And look, the issue detector is clear right now. Now, to be clear, this mission would have gone okay anyway. It's just giving you warnings, but it's one of these things that it wants you to make sure that you are setting your settings properly before you head off and you fly and you've got a problem, or the mission crashes or doesn't work the way that you want it to work. So one more thing, we've kind of set the basic settings, but if you noticed under the approach, under the settings, going into the list, under here, we can set other commands as well. We can do command, we can set our ISO or exposure mode, we can set the aspect ratio, we can say where the camera images are going to be stored, we can set all kinds of video settings. There's all kinds of things that can be set here at the same time if we want to make sure that certain settings are also set on the way. Now, the beauty of this is, although this may seem a little complex right now and you're worried about errors, once you get this set up the way that you like it, you can save this as a component and immediately call it out, and it'll automatically be set up anytime you want to use it. You can have a component for hyperlapses, a component for night shooting, a component for shooting buildings, a component for shooting cinematic video. You can have a variety of components that are all available for you. And a quick teaser. So we'll be talking about this more when we get to repos and what's available via Dronelink. But if you notice, if I go back into my approach, and let's go into the approach and let's drill down into the immediate, and let's just pull up the list and let's delete this so we clear the immediate component altogether. If I go under immediate component, and instead of doing a command and instead of doing a list, I could say include from repository. There are a whole bunch of commands and components that are available for you. So for example, there is a settings reset command that's already there. I can do a camera reset. I can click on this. Now that pulled this list of commands automatically in one step, pulled all these things in. I can modify, I want to shoot 1080p, so I can go in here, I can change this to whatever I want it to be instead of what its default setting. But this is just a way of, these are some default camera resets, and I'll show you more when we talk about the repo side. Now, one other thing on achieved and immediate components. What we did here is we had it set up to do the camera start capture as a marker, which is perfectly acceptable. However, typically what I see is under approach, and we drill down into the approach, and we have an achieved component. This is usually a good place to do a command, to do a camera command, and do a camera start capture. Only because now we've reached the point that's typically where you've dragged your approach, or kind of the first place that you want to start filming. So you can see right now, let's see what error it's giving me. Oh, see, it's warning me right now that I got to start capture. The camera's already capturing. So it's basically telling me to delete this guy away. And then my immediate command will go away. So bottom line, pulling all these things together, combined with some of the things we'll be showing you here in a minute with the repos, this gives you full control over the drone, where the camera looks, and what camera commands are being sent, and when those camera commands are being sent to the camera.